friend Lena with Bandit Sunset Crafts, and I'm here today to show you a variety of different ways that you can make little Easter bunnies for Easter. I'll give you a variety of different ideas. There's one with using the humble and easy to find washcloth. Some twist ties. I'm using hair ties, but if you have some that are clear, then they won't be able to show up. We're going to make do with this one. And you're also going to have a little piece of tape. And the reason the tape is going to be used is it's going to be so you can actually place your eyes on the washcloth, but that way you can take them off later and turn your washcloth back out of Easter mode. And then I have a pom-pom rabbit I'm going to show you how to make. And then I'm going to also show you a little Easter rabbit that's knitted. So I'm going to start with the washcloth because we know everybody can go hunt down some washcloths in their bathroom and be able to make some cute little bunny rabbits out of them. And that way, even though we're pretty much stuck at home, we can still celebrate Easter, have fun with the kids, and just have a good time with our family. So, what I'm doing right now is I'm going to make it so I can put the little eyeballs on. Oh, and you can use either a cotton ball, like the end of a cotton ball, tear off a piece and make it into a little ball for their tail. That way you don't have to go out and buy the little pom-poms. You can use something like this, and that way you can have the little white tail on the back. So, what I'm doing is took a piece of tape and I hooked the ends together so you can have front and back tape without going out and buying front and back tape. Or double-sided tape. And I'm going to place my little eyes on it. Now I have these little ones, but you can also find bigger sized ones. And so we can put that aside with our little cotton ball. And you're going to use the cotton ball and do the same thing. I guess I'll find that piece of tape later because I'm not finding it now, that's for sure. I have it on my table. If you could see what my table looks like, it has everything on it within arm's reach, but you can't see it. My cheat for the day, which I guess it's not so cheating anymore, because now you know. So now I'm going to do the same. So basically, you can't see it at all because it all flips together. But I'm just going to take the two ends and fold them together. Make a little. And then one's going to be for the pom-pom and one's going to be for the little eyes. You're going to put them on the back of the pom-pom and the little eyes. And for your cotton ball, roll it around in your hands. That way you can make it into a circle pretty easily. Because it'll all fold in on itself. And that way we can put them aside. So you're going to take your humble washcloth. And you're going to roll from this end to the middle. And the joys of pointing the camera at me is it's harder for me to show you what it looks like. But see, there's this half. And then we're going to do the same with the opposite corner. So we're going to roll them in so they meet. And there's going to be a variety of different ways that you can do this. So, one, we're going to bring both our ends and fold them up so they meet. Didn't realize it was stuck to it. And then you're going to put the twist tie around this part right here. This one's gonna make you a big floppy Easter bunny. See? And then we're gonna take our plastic egg, put them in the middle, like so. And then tape your little eyes onto it. Voila! And then we're gonna tape his little tail on to the back. So one little Easter rabbit. And you can use larger eyes if you want. And then we're going to do another one. You're going to fold it the exact same way that we did with this one. So roll corner to corner. So do the corner into the middle. So it's like so. Voila. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. So then you have it like this. So both rolls are in the middle. And then we're going to fold them so they meet. Make sure you have it the same size on the end. Okay. And then we're going to fold up the end and fold it back. And we're going to put a little twist tie right where my finger's at, creating this face out of the fold in your rabbit. This would be one of the benefits of the clear ones. But you can fluff it out so it's not as easy to see, like I'm doing here. And then it's harder to see your little twist tie. And then you got the little rabbit ears right here. And then you have your little back side of your rabbit. So we're going to put the eyes, do the same thing with the tape. Oh, I found that. It's on crochet hook. Okay. So do the same with the tape and put your little eyes on it. I do have some bigger ones. If you have bigger eyes, you can put bigger eyes on if you want. Or you can make do with the small ones. And either one's fine. You can also do the same with beads if you'd like. Oh, found my piece of tape. Apparently I won't be using that one. Okay, so you're going to do the same with the little eyes. And you can also glue these on if you want, but you can choose yourself whether you want to hot glue them or just tape them on. This allows you to reuse your washcloths after Easter. So there's his little eyes. You can do the same. And see, this one's kind of crazy looking, so pull off a chunk of it, roll it around. You make it into a nice little ball. Do the same with the tape. And then you can put your little cotton ball on. And even if you don't have the eyeballs, they're still really cute. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little plastic Easter egg. You don't have to, but you have a nice little cavity here to put the Easter egg in. See? And you got the cottontail and got his little eyes. You can separate out his little ears. Okay, so that's washcloth rabbit number 2. All right. right, now we got washcloth rabbit number 3. I guess I'll make a pink one now. Okay, so we're going to do the same. Roll them from both corners down to the middle. So roll from corner to middle, like we've done on the other 2. And then roll from corner to middle on the opposite side, like we did with all the other rabbits. So you can pick whichever rabbit you like the most out of any of these. So I'm going to put my little egg in. I'll tie it down. So see, doing this so far. Okay, and then we're going to go up just a little bit. And you can fluff this out. Gonna make him so he can be fluffier. And then, so see, I fluffed it right here. Make it bigger. And then you're gonna do the tie again. And this is where it can be a benefit to have the clear ones over these, but you know what? I'm working with what I got. Okay, so, and then fluff out your ears. So, see, we got the little ears on the top. I don't know why it looks kind of weird. But you can do it that way. Maybe we need to make him a little rounder head. Then he looks like that. And then we can put his little eyeballs and his little cottontail on there, like we did with the other rabbits. So, I don't know. My other ones, I thought the other ones looked cuter, but whatever. So there's this one, this little guy, and this little guy. And so now you can go hide, put your Easter eggs, all your candy in there. And you can probably also add some candy. You can hide them like you would normal Easter eggs. And you can use them to decorate as well. So let me know which one you like best of the 3 little rabbits. Gives you a variety of options. And you get to have fun with your kids making little rabbits. So I'm going to put these 3 away. Okay, and we're going to go to the Pom-Pom rabbit. So what you do is you need 2 different sizes. I have Pom-Pom makers, and one is 0.5 millimeters, little pieces. And then I have a pom-pom maker that is 7 centimeters. Okay. And what you're going to do is you're going to have to make 1 of each size. So you'll need your pom-pom makers. If you don't have these, what you can do is go get a sturdy piece of cardboard. Or if, say, you only have the back of your cereal box, cut out 3 circles in the big size on the outside. And then you're going to use a smaller circle on the inside. So let's say you have the outside of a big cup, and then the inside you can use, say, a small lotion bottle. I have my eyeglass thing over here. So let's use an example. the outside ring of the cup. And then you're going to use the inside ring of, say, this is my eyeglass. But you can use that. What you're going to do is you're going to draw the circles on the cardboard. One big and then the inside little. And then what you're going to do is you're going to cut it out. And if it's something flimsy like, say, Dr. Pepper box or cereal box, you're going to want to cut out 3 different ones. Make sure they're all the same size. And you're going to make a slit from the outside to the inside. And what you're going to do is you're going to go around your pom-pom maker, which is your cardboard. This is the old school way to do it. And you want to make sure your circles are as perfect as you can get them, because that makes sure that as you're going around these pom-poms, that you have the same size. And that is vitally important to make sure everything's the same size. So you would have your cardboard shaped like this. Whereas I have a pom-pom maker that's already made. And what you're going to do is you're going to wrap your yarn around your pom-pom maker. And you're going to make it as full as you possibly can. So. And you're going to fill it up. And you're going to wrap it as much as you can. All the way around on both sides. And then, once you're done, you're going to want it as thick as you possibly can. And then, you're going to go along between both edges where it's wrapped around. And you're going to cut your pom-pom out. Cut all the edges, and then you're going to want to slip a piece of string or yarn that matches your pom-pom in between both of them, and then tie it around. So see, this is how I did it. See how I have a string in here? It's tied around the middle. That's going to hold all these pieces together, because when you cut them, you're going to have all these little teeny tiny pieces that are making your pom-pom. And then you're going to want to go around and shave your pom-pom so that it's as perfect as you can get. And you're wanting really sharp scissors because you're going to be cutting through a lot of yarn. You do not realize how many times you're going to go around it. And it won't seem that much until you start like actually trying to cut through it. So you're going to make them as perfect as you can. And the more you shave down, the tighter and fluffier it'll be. But you want to make sure you still have one pom-pom that's bigger and one pom-pom that's little. And so you're going to do the same thing with your big cardboard template that looks like this versus your little cardboard template that'll look like that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to tie them together. And I always use the string that I have that's tying the middle of my pom-pom, because you're going to have that anyway. And that way I use it to connect my 2 pom-poms. And if, say, you've trimmed it a bunch and you realize they're almost the same size, you can always just go back through and make one smaller than the other. So then you hook them both together and we can have this. So if you stand him up, you'll have him like this, like that. But you can also lay him down and have a little laid down rabbit. Now with these, you can use the little googly eyes, or you can glue on beads as well. Or you can use the little googly eyes. You're going to need a piece of felt, and you're going to have to cut out somewhere. I have ears. Haha. I attached mine with hot glue. And found that one of mine is very flat compared to the other. You're going to cut out your little ears. Add some felt. You can use fabric too if you don't have felt. Just gonna need something that you can use for little ears. I folded mine in a little with some hot glue, and then I attached them on. You can have them straight up, you can have them floppy ears. You can roll them up, and then you're just going to attach your ears however you want and glue them in. I think for this one, I would make the little floppy ears. And all I did was just roll it up a little. See how cute those are? They give them a totally different personality. And then you're going to go ahead and glue on your beads for a little face. Glue on your little ears. And you can also use cotton balls for the little tail. Sorry, looking for something. Okay. So you glue your little cotton tail on there too. So he has a little tail. Cut out little feet. I don't know why I can't find my feet. Probably if you saw what this looked like, you're like, well, no wonder you can't find your feet. But then you cut out little flat big long strips that are curved on one end to make little feet, and then you can add your feet, and you can make one stand up and you can make one kind of lay down, whichever direction you want, whichever one you like best. Or you can mix and match and make a bunch of them. You can make them in any color of yarn that you want, so you can make the rainbow of little rabbits, or you can stick to, say, all blue or white. Your choice. So, those are the little rabbits. Pom-pom rabbits. And then the last one is actually going to be the knitted rabbit. So, alright. So, this looks harder than you think, but I guarantee you, all I did was I cast on 40 stitches on the size 9 knitting needles, and I knit a few for a little bit, and then I measured it so I could tell what length I needed. So I have a flat one. So what you're going to do is you're going to start knitting and just go for a little bit. And then what you're going to do is you're going to lay it flat and get a perfect measurement off of it. Because what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make a square. And in this case, I have a square that's 9 3/4 by 9 3/4. So you'll keep knitting until you have an exact square. And I promise you there's a reason one is done and one is not done, because how else can you show how to make it if you already have it done? So, I then mark the exact middle with a pin, and then you're going to want to fold down your end so it reaches the middle. So See? It's right at the pin, although I think I'm covering it up. Haha, see? And then it's a 45 degrees, so you have a perfect triangle. And then I marked the bottom of that triangle with another pin. You can use safety pin, piece of string, doesn't matter as long as you have these pins because it'll be important later. Then you do the exact same thing with the other side. So you have perfect little squares in here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to sew. See how this tightens up here? I sewed from this pin down to this pin. And I just stitched it in there. And this will make perfect sense when we're all done. And then sew from this pin across to this pin. And you're going to want, this will be gathered, so you don't want it really tight. You want like really loose stitches. And then you'll sew from this pin up to this pin at a triangle. So you have a little triangle inside the big square. And then it's going to be little magic piece, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my end and I'm going to pull. See how it almost magically turned itself into a rabbit? By just pulling the two ends, I made almost a perfect rabbit. So now we're going to take a little bit of stuffing. And you're going to fill in this section in between the two ears. So you have a nice full rabbit head. And so then I'm going to, see, pull this up. Then I have this perfect little head. You can fill it as much or as little as you want. And then, okay, so next, what we're going to want to do is you're going to sew this together. So you want to sew this back piece, line it up flat, and you're going to sew it up using the tail from the other end. Oh, actually you can use this tail, because you're going to need to make sure your ends here are nice and tight. And then tie them. And then you're going to take your tail and you're going to sew from this ear, in between your ears, down both ends of the square. This is basically the other side of your square. Sew those together. And I would suggest using the front side, one of the front strings that you use to cinch it up. I'll use the long one. And I'm going to sew up a little between the ears just to make sure my stuffing has no chance of falling out. So see, right here. Because I don't want to lose stuffing. And then you're going to want to get into this cavity here where you stuffed it and sew that up. So attach the ear to the other side. So there is no chance of the stuffing getting out. Just kind of sew up that spot where you cinched it together. Oh, and make sure you remove any of those pins. We don't want a little kid to have any of the pins. Get to watch me sew. So that way I can show you how it works. Okay. And you don't want it too tight because you want it to kind of stretch a little bit. But you don't want any of your stuffing to come out. So just lay them down flat. So lay it down flat. Then you're going to sew through. And so I will follow the stitching here. It's way more interesting to try to show you how to do it when they're staring at me on the deal. But we're going to make it work. So I don't think I can tilt it down anymore. I can, but I need a book. Get a little book here so we can tilt you down some. And not have it fall at the same time. Never mind, this isn't working. So, I'm going to rest on some bunny butts. Yep. You can tell what I'm propping with. Yep. There. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew this part up so you can see it better. And yes, that's exactly what I use to prop this, is actually the bunnies and the stuffing that I have on the table. That tells you how much is on the table, right? So you're going to sew this up real fast. That way you can see. And don't tighten down too much because knitting does have a little bit of give. And that way it won't be as easy to see. I didn't know it'd be a 30-minute video to show you how to make some rabbits, but okay, so you're gonna sew it all the way to the end. And see how right now it looks kind of like you have a seam there? If you stretch it out a little before you finish, see how it's mostly disappeared? Because knitting isn't 100% tight. It's got a little bit of give and stretch to it. Almost done. One more. I think it's about an inch that I have. You guys are going to have to post and let me know which rabbits were your favorite, and show me pictures of the rabbits that you make. Okay, so now I'm done. Make sure that you kind of stretch this out a little bit. And that'll help hide the seam, so it's not as easy to notice. See, that looks a lot better than if it was what it did before. And then you're going to tie this end off. You're going to make a knot. Tie this off so that it's not going to fall in. And the nice thing about the ends, if they're towards the back, you can easily just stuff them inside. So now we're going to add our pillow stuffing. And I'm going to try to do this without disturbing my camera, because it is currently sitting on a pile of pillow stuffing so that I could get it at the right angle, which I'm sure there's going to be a lot of videos that probably will not be saying that's what they did, but it is, in this case, exactly what I did. So I'm just going to tell you right there. And you know, I'm going to have an idea. I think if we make sure and go about 2 of these ridges down and then sew around the bottom of a rabbit, I think we can make a nice little bunny rabbit tail without actually having to figure out another way to make a rabbit tail. Let me see where this is coming from. Ah, my top piece here. Don't worry. Okay, so then we're going to sew to see the little ridges. Go about 2 or go 3 ridges down, and we're going to stitch around. And what you're going to be doing is cinching this, so it doesn't have to be pretty. You can just do quick little stitches. So what I do is I go straight down where you're wanting. So take it straight down, and you're going to go down, say, about ½ an inch. We're going to pop up, and then we're going to go into the stitch next to it, and then go do the same, because basically you're going to be sewing through that little line in between the 2 ridges all the way around. And when you do one into the next stitch over here, but go through several stitches, you're not going to see this big gap, because it's hiding out on the inside. See? If I can see this gap right here. You're not going to see that because we're hiding it inside. You're going to keep doing that all the way around the back of this. Follow your line all the way around. And the nice thing is all you do is you make a simple little square. And then by just making these little bits of sewing, you can turn it into this really cute little rabbit without doing any really complicated stitches to make the shapes of the ears and the tail and the body. And this is a really good way to learn how to knit, but make some cute little toy for, say, a baby shower. You can give these give them to a friend for a baby shower. If any friends that you have little kids and their birthdays are coming up, you can make them little rabbits like this. And it is a pretty simple project. It's pretty fast. You're not going to make anything really big. And as you can see, I've made 3 rabbits in 40 minutes here. Well, 3, 4, 5 rabbits in 40 minutes here. So the sewing doesn't take that much time because I've shown you how to make so many different little rabbits. Okay, so once you've reached the end and you've sewn all the way around, what you're going to do is you're going to cinch it closed. And you're going to pull it as tight as you possibly can. And I have to stuff my stuffing back in, so I'm sorry, it does look a little funny. But that way you have this cute little tail. That's one way to do it. That way you have a little tail. And if you want it more ruffly and fluffier, all you do is you go another, one more ridge down. And so I'm going to make a knot here. So if you're going to give this to a baby, I would not put a face on it. That way there's no chance of the baby choking on buttons or beads or anything that you've put on it. But there are other options. You can actually make, you can sew a little face on here. You can cut a face out of felt and just sew it onto this. And you can also use embroidery thread and you can make your little faces as well. So I'm going to pull this up. And that way we're on 45 minutes to make our little rabbits. So, I'm going to weave in all my ends. And then you just cut it. And see, you've got a cute little toy. And this one I made a little pom-pom and put it on there. But you have cute little knitted rabbit. This is really easy to make. And you can give these away to friends. And I got a little white and a little blue one. Then we have, this one's the one that stands up. A little pom-pom rabbit. And then we have our 3 little rabbits. Two washcloths, and here's the 3rd little washcloth, and you can put a little face on him too, and a little cotton tail on the back. So those are my ideas for different rabbits that you can make. Have a wonderful Easter, and I hope you guys have a lot of fun with these Easter rabbit projects. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you next time.